Here are 7 dark thriller horror books. If you can stomach them, these books are phenomenal, but be warned, they are very graphic and gruesome. The Angel Maker was one of the first darker books that I read, and although it took me by surprise, I ended up really loving the story. This book follows a notorious serial killer who is said to know the future. We follow Katie, who when she was 18 and about to graduate high school, she had something catastrophic happen. It changed the fate of her family forever, and now years later, still struggling with trying to live through the guilt of what happened, something happens to her brother once again. Nowhere is a thriller horror book set in Appalachia folklore. It follows a small town and really dives deep into one family's dynamics. As people are starting to disappear from the town, particularly children, they're either not coming back from the forest or they're entering the forest and coming back completely different. This one's really dark. It's not going to have that happy ending because it is a horror book, but the ending makes sense for the book, and I've actually read this one twice because I just love the story. This father is on a camping trip with his daughters hoping to bond with them, but instead they get kind of stranded in a storm. One of them is injured. They stumble across this cabin that should be their saving grace, but their nightmare is just starting. There are some details in this book that still haunt me to this day, so be warned. I think this one is the darkest book that I've ever read. The one I show you next, the storyline as a whole is darker, but this one went for shock value multiple times. Think about any normal scene in a thriller book where you're being described maybe a scene of a crime. In this book, you're gonna live through every single detail of it, and it is a hard read. I listened on audio, and I still remember in the car just having my jaw on the floor and feeling like actually sick to my stomach, but I loved it. The storyline of this one, I think, is the darkest book I've ever read. This man has kidnapped young girls over and over and done horrible things to them, things I will not say in this video, but one of them finally escapes with her life. She's the first to ever escape from him. She's able to make it out with the first girl he actually ever kidnapped. Their nightmare should be over, but the girl that she escaped with is hiding a lot from her. The Last Thing to Burn is a bit of a claustrophobic book because you're following a woman named Jane, but her name's not actually Jane, that's just what her husband calls her, and he tracks her every single movement via cameras. He keeps tabs on her. Escape has seemed impossible for her for so long, but she right now has a reason that she needs to leave, and she is desperate to do anything in her powers to do so. Adrift is my newest addition to this category. This one focuses on a family that is kind of secluded. They live in a canal boat, and the husband moves them farther and farther away from civilization whenever he deems fit. You know from the beginning that this husband has a past of horrific things, and his wife is basically trying to plot an escape and trying to figure out how to get away with her son. This one's dual POV. It is so haunting. It's one that's hard to put down, but also you might need breaks because it is a hard read at times. And there we have it, 7 very dark thriller horror books. Let me know if you've read any of these books or if you have any dark book recommendations. I read them few and far between. I need some palate cleansers in between, but when they have a really solid story, they can sometimes just be phenomenal.